Juwan said this was the best locker room that he's been a part of. What's your thoughts on kind of the locker room, the culture this year?
Yeah, I think it's been a great locker room. Juwan talked about when the season started the way that it did. I think it shows a lot about the characters and the character of our team. And the reality is there's been no quit in anybody in that locker room, and everyone's still competing and playing for one another. And God, that's a fun environment to be in, And we know that the postseason stuff is off the table, but everyone's still cherishing every opportunity you get, and that's I think that's pretty unique and special, and I think that's what Juwan and others are referring to.
Ken was saying that he had 24 people here, or at least 24 passes. Did you have any similar efforts of trying to get family here? Or?
Yeah, we got a lot of family here. Yeah, we got a lot of family here tonight. Yeah, my entire family's here for the game, so it was fun to have them here, and feel a lot of love and support from people around me. That's for sure.
Did you take a second? Again, I didn't have a chance to ask Cam this. I know you've meant so much to fans and to this team, and seen a lot of ups and downs. Even just coming off the field for not to say it will be, but just understanding that things change in this game.
Yeah, ask me the tough questions. Look, my wife asked me that this morning. Excuse me, and I didn't really feel any type of way this morning. But as I was driving to the stadium today, you start to think about the last 9 years and what it's meant to me and my family and the city and stuff. So I think for me personally, you just try to take it all in, We had a great experience here tonight, and I don't know what the future holds for me, but it was a special day for me and the family.
Do you want your time?
Say it again.
Do you want your time, or have you thought about?
I'm focused on the next 2 weeks, and we'll kind of tackle the rest of that as we get down the road.
How satisfying was it to throw a touchdown? And, just that play. Can you just kind of take us through that play?
Yeah, honestly, I was a little bit surprised when it came in. You'd have to ask CO. I think they were going to hold CO out of the game, and he found out what the call was, and he says, "No, I'm in." You can confirm that with him because I was on the field. But yeah, look, I mean, it was. I know Kellen made a concerted effort to give me more opportunities and stuff given the circumstances, and God, it's a great way to seal a game. We had the look that we wanted, and it worked out perfectly.
What does it mean to you? Kellen's in his first year here. He doesn't have the full breadth of understanding of your contributions here in terms of watching it all transpire, but he still sends the ball your way in those moments.
Yeah, Kellen's been great. If there's one thing about Kellen is he's a very aware coach, and he knows what's going on, and he knows how challenging this league is, and I think he's got a really unique perspective, having played, and he's got a different perspective from being in the locker room that way, and he doesn't let those things just pass by, and our locker room and the recognition that he gives to guys for what they do is evident of that. So I think everyone appreciates that about Kellen. It's one of those things that endears a player, to him, and a locker room, and people feel that and rally behind that.
He also said that after your receiving touchdown was wiped away, that they really tried to get you on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I've not had any conversations about any of this, but I was laughing in my head, You know, we had the touchdown, and then the next play he tried to give me another one, and then the next play he called the screen to me, and I was laughing in my head, and it was like, Kellen knows. Look, those things don't go unnoticed, you know, and like I said, Kellen's great about all of these things, and you know, I appreciate that about him.
The touchdown that wasn't, like, how does that tackle over what kind of helped manipulate things, and how did that kind of build off the one from last week? So you guys really touched on it.
Yeah, look, that's a package that we've been carrying for the last few weeks, and we had the run last week, and so we felt like it was one of those things that was primed in a situation like that. So Kellen's great about giving similar formations, same looks, but then there's so many different things that he wants to do off of that. So after we ran the touchdown with Dev last week, everybody felt like, you know, the pass off of that was ready to go. So you know, that goes back to how Kellen operates and his preparation and what he does.
When you look back, obviously you set so many kind of unique and novelty records, but to do what you did today, you know, the only person in a Super Bowl era, 1,000 passing, rushing, and receiving, is that something yet, or?
No, I don't know. I mean, I'd be lying if it was something I wasn't aware of, you know, in conversation and stuff. But I think in moments like these, causes me to be really reflective, you know, and I think my overall feeling right now is just one of gratitude. I think this organization, this city, has been so good to me, all the way back to Sean, and had this unique vision of things that I could do, and God, I owe a lot of thanks to a lot of people, you know, throughout the last 9 years of different opportunities, because I think, you know, it'd be easy not to give me opportunities like that, you know, to have these unique experiences. But I really appreciate what those guys did early on. I really appreciate, you know, Kellen and Clint last year, and these guys that have continued to create opportunities for me. You know, it means a lot. So I haven't thought a ton about it, but I can tell you, I feel a ton of gratitude.
Was the receiving part of that something that you ever envisioned for yourself as a college quarterback?
No. I mean, there's.
How long did that take you to feel comfortable out there running routes, catching footballs, and all that stuff?
I mean, I would say that part of it has kind of like been this little bit of a joke, you know, not a joke, but it was. Look, I feel comfortable doing that, but I still remember, you know, 5-6 years ago, Devontae Adams was a teammate of mine in Green Bay, and we were playing them, and I'd caught a touchdown or something, and I saw Devontae after the game, and he made a comment to me about, like, man, you got more receiving touchdowns than I do, you know. And, so, look, I think that goes back to what I said earlier, you know, where I owe so many thanks to so many people that created unique opportunities for me, you know. And
is there a moment where it turned from this isn't maybe the way I expect my career to go to, you know, you wouldn't have it any other way? Was that
you know, I haven't really thought about my career that way. I think my mindset through all of this was you just got to take advantage of every opportunity that you're given, you know. And this is it's a challenging league, you know. It's a challenging league to stick around, and it's super competitive. And so I think you gotta, when you get opportunities, you gotta take advantage of them. And so that's really been my mindset throughout all of it. And I haven't really thought much about how unique it's been, or, you know, what I wanted or what I didn't want type of thing, you know. Just taking it one day at a time and making sure that I make the most of each of them.
We'll take one more for Taysom. We're a little backed up.
I know that you said a couple times that you haven't thought about it, so I'm sorry if this falls in this category. But at this point in your career, could you imagine playing for another team? Like, would you consider that to keep your career going? Or is that something you're just
Yeah, I think that's one of those questions that we'll tackle down the road. But I can tell you, I have so much love for the city of New Orleans and this fan base and the way that they've embraced me and my family. It's been really special. So, you know, I wouldn't want to play somewhere else, you know, but there's a lot of circumstances that, you know, are out of your control too, right? And I understand the nature of this business, and I'm not thinking that way right now, but we'll tackle that when we get there. Thanks, guys.
We'll have Chris Olave and then Charlie.